Man, if you've been looking at the crypto headlines lately, it's just total whiplash, right? One second it's the future of money, the next it's a complete and total meltdown. So what is really going on behind all that noise? Let's dive in and try to make some sense of it all.
Okay, I want to start with just a number. Ready for this? $800 million. Just let that number hang in the air for a second. What on earth could that represent?
That is the amount of money that traders betting the price would go up have lost, completely wiped out, in just the last 24 hours. It's an absolutely staggering amount of financial pain, and it tells you everything you need to know about the mood in the market right now. And, that kind of pain, it feeds directly into our first big theme here. We are in a climate of just palpable, widespread, extreme fear. Let's take a look at how this is actually playing out. Of course, it all starts at the top, doesn't it? Bitcoin, the undisputed market leader, has stumbled hard, dipping below that key $85,000 mark right after hitting some incredible new highs. And look, this is not just a Bitcoin story. Not at all. These shockwaves are ripping through the entire market. You've got Solana, another huge player, seeing its value just fracture, falling below that really critical support level of $125. And it's the exact same story for Cardano's Ada, which has dropped below that huge psychological level of 40 cents. For a lot of people watching, this doesn't feel like a simple correction anymore. This feels like an absolute freefall. And when you see this much red on the charts, it just pours gasoline on the fire for the critics. You've got guys like Peter Schiff, the big gold advocate, out there shouting from the rooftops again, calling Bitcoin a fake asset. When the prices drop, you better believe those voices get a whole lot louder. All right, I've got another number for you, 24. And no, that's not a price, but it might be just as important for understanding the mood out there right now. So that score, it comes from the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. And a 24, well, that puts the market deep, deep into extreme fear territory. I mean, we are talking rock bottom investor sentiment. This isn't just a gut feeling, folks. This is data. It's literally quantifying the panic. But, and this is a huge but, right as that fear is hitting a fever pitch, there's a completely different narrative playing out in the shadows, a totally opposite story. It's one of conviction, and it's being measured not in fear, but in billions of dollars. And this just lays it all out, doesn't it? It's the perfect picture of the crossroads we're at. On one side, you've got all the signs of panic, massive liquidations, prices tanking, that extreme fear index. But on the other side, you have these huge institutions making massive long-term bets and just now entering the market. I mean, these two realities simply cannot coexist forever. Something's got to give. So let's put a face to this conviction. Michael Saylor. While pretty much everyone else is panic selling, he and his company MicroStrategy are doing the exact opposite. They just snapped up another nearly $12 million worth of Bitcoin. And trust me, that little purchase is just a drop in the bucket. It's all part of this massive long-term strategy. All in, his company is now sitting on Bitcoin worth nearly $56 billion. Now, let's be really clear here. This is not a trade. This is a complete and total transformation of their corporate treasury into a Bitcoin standard. But as big a deal as Michael Saylor is, his moves are now actually being overshadowed. A true titan of traditional finance is stepping into the ring, and this could change everything. All right, get ready for another number, $11 trillion. That's a number so huge it almost breaks your brain, right? To give you some perspective, that is more than the entire economy of almost every single country on Earth. And that pile of money is about to get pointed directly at the crypto market. So who is this $11 trillion giant? It's Vanguard, and they are about to open the floodgates. Starting tomorrow, their absolutely massive client base can directly buy into crypto exchange-traded funds. This isn't just a small step. It is a monumental leap for the mainstream adoption of these assets. And you know what happens when that kind of money starts to move, right? You can bet every politician and regulator in Washington, D.C. is paying very, very close attention. This institutional wave is basically forcing their hand. And suddenly, the whole game board is lighting up. The Federal Reserve is actively drafting rules for stablecoins. The chair of the SEC is set to give a major speech tomorrow. We're even seeing the betting market shift on who the next Fed chair will be. I mean, crypto is not some niche hobby anymore. It is a major league policy issue.
Okay, so with all this chaos, all this fear, all these huge institutional moves, it is so easy to get tunnel vision. So let's just take a breath, zoom out, and put today's craziness into a bit of historical context. I mean, just think about this journey for a second. Only 8 years ago, Bitcoin breaking $10,000 was this world-shattering event. Not that long ago, we saw it hit an all-time high of over $126,000. So yeah, today's price is a big drop, but it's still light years ahead of where we were. And you still have major analysts like Tom Lee calling for new highs in the next couple of years. This kind of insane volatility, it's just part of the DNA of this asset. So this all brings us right back to the core question, the big one at the heart of all this contradictory information. What are we actually seeing here? Is this a collapse, or is this some kind of major turning point? You know, when you boil it all down, it comes to this. The market is in a massive tug of war. It's being pulled in two completely opposite directions. On one side, you have the raw, gut-wrenching emotion of everyday investors who are absolutely terrified. And on the other, you have the cold, hard, calculated bets of institutions putting down billions for the long haul. One of these forces has to win. They can't both be right. But for right now, today, the future of the entire crypto market is just hanging in the balance. The next chapter is completely unwritten. And that leaves us with the final, multi-trillion-dollar question. As Wall Street finally starts to pour in billions, is the intense fear we're seeing in the market today just the last gasp of a dying speculative bubble, or are these the birth pains of an entirely new financial era?